Hello YouTube friends, Alicia here. So I haven't done a haul video in quite a while. But anyways, that's what this is today. And the reason I'm showing it is because it's not a standard like haul video of stores. It's an antique haul video. And I've just found some really cool things and I want to show them to you. They were quite expensive, but I did get a fairly good deal on them. And I'm going to say for anybody, if you, these are old land leases and things like that, and all different government documents. And I'm not going to be able to really show them because they are really big. I do plan to put them somewhere where I can kind of flatten them out and just to preserve them a little bit. But I will scan them. I won't obviously use the originals because they were a little bit too pricey to do that with. Oh, I was going to say, sorry, I lost my train of thought. If anybody is interested in these land leases, I can pick up more of them. Or I can try and pick up more of them. But I will say they're about $7 a piece. So with shipping, it's going to cost probably almost $10 to mail one. And then of course, I mean, if you pick up a couple of them, it'd be a little bit cheaper with shipping, depending, you know, on the size and weight. But yeah, so if anybody is interested in these, I can try and go back and pick up some more. But these are the ones I picked up. And there was tons of them, but like I said, they were too pricey for me to be able to pick up tons of them. And I mean, I'm going to scan them anyways. So it's fine what I have. And I guess with that in mind, like knowing that I'm going to scan them, it's not just one piece of paper, you know, that I paid $7 for and I can just, you know, stick it in a journal and never use it again. This is just blank on the other side. It does help, you know, to know that. But this one is $39. But I mean, some of these are over 100 years old. I don't know if I should... The ones that are folded like this are folded like this intentionally. And I'm debating if I should flatten those ones out. I'm thinking maybe not, maybe just some of these ones. And the reason I would like to flatten them out is just so that, to preserve them, I'd like to put them somewhere where I can preserve them a little bit better than just loose. So this one is 1922. And like you can see, they're really long. And this one, once again, would fold up. Oops, sorry. Like this. So, yeah, there's all different ones. There, and I mean, I can't guarantee you what I can get. And this one has the seals in it. But it is multiple sheets of paper. Oops. Okay, well, and then this one, and this one has seals again on it, and then this one is 1920, so I mean, it's pretty much 100 years old. So there is that. That was the most pricey, well, no, that wasn't, this whole haul was pricey, to be honest, and had I known that, you know, I could get this some other time, I probably would have kind of split it up. But I have never seen so much of this vintage stuff at this antique store. A lot of it times it's not paper, so that is why I went ahead and bought it, because it's not common to find things like this in my area. And these, again, once again, I'll scan all these pieces. And I bought 3 envelopes, and it was $40 for the 3 envelopes, so it wasn't cheap. But I can also scan these pieces, and some of them are around, well, this one's 1935. I'm sorry, I put them in page protectors already, some of them, because I don't want to handle them any more than I have to, other than to put them on my scanner. And then I will store them somewhere dark. I won't leave them in the light. This one's 1915, so I mean, this letter here is over 100 years old. Oh, and this is cool. This is a telegram from the 1945, February 14th, 1945. I have never had a telegram. I have never seen a real telegram. So, just a letter. And one thing I thought was interesting, I don't know what kind of lead they used in the pencils back then, and the reason I say that is our pencil here, kind of like nowadays, after it fades out and like rubs off, I don't know how you can have a 100-year-old letter in pencil and it's still, like, this is from 1917, perfectly clear. And the cool thing is, I read cursive fairly well, and so a lot of this stuff I can actually read. This is a poultry statement. And I have pink paper like that, which is also kind of cool. I have the pink, the yellow, and like the, I don't know, it's like a tan color. I have old typewriter paper. So this is just, dear Mr. Something. Well, I'm not going to try and read it through the camera, but this is from a typewriter, obviously. Like I said, I was reading some of the letters, and it's kind of cool. This is just another vintage piece that I thought was really cool. It's double-sided. And some of this is local, and some of this is stateside, and it's kind of all over. I'm trying to think what I'm going to show next. I don't want too much dead time on the camera, sorry. So this is just an old envelope from '76, and it came with a bunch of stuff from my thrift store. That was cheap. That was, and then these little envelopes he gave them to me for free. They are vintage, but they just had nothing in them, so they weren't worth much. Little Christmas card. I may as well move this into the camera. This is an old picture thing, but there is no picture, and it's from Yorkton, Saskatchewan, which I have been to Yorkton. This is from 1890 something, and it is it's a, well, I'll show you. Here's the 1879 calendar. It's like a little pocket book with different information, and then some writing space. So once again, I will scan it. And this was part of the envelopes. This has an old Christmas card in it. Why livestock need iodine. Vintage or not, that, you know, that fact hasn't changed. Livestock still needs iodine. This is just an old envelope that I will scan. These are kind of interesting. I will probably be selling some of these. They're really cool, but they're scripture stuff. But they're not my thing. I don't know. I don't have a reason really for them not being my thing, other than I'll probably keep one, you know, scan it. Oops, that one was a little bit. And the rest of these I'll sell in a vintage lot whenever I get enough stuff to put in the lot. So there's a bunch of those. This is really cool. And I can take it apart. I will scan some of this. It's an old vintage map. Sorry. Another kind of catalog. These are also catalogs which are over 100 years old. And I'll do the same thing. I'll scan these. And I'm not worried about it. Copyright, 1858 to 1910. Like, I don't really think anybody is going to come after me for copyright infringement when it's over 100 years old. Considering that most of these places probably don't actually even exist anymore. And they're not even in the same country as me. So this one is not as exciting. It's mostly writing. Oops. But I like the cover, and it was in one of those envelopes. So obviously I took everything in the envelopes. That's how they were sold. I will show you one more thing on this video, and then I'm gonna do a separate video of some of the other things that I picked up. So I had these separated out, and that's these, and I will be selling some of these as well. I have more somewhere else. They are Blue Ribbon, which I believe is Canadian. They're the coupons, and they're not, I mean, some of them are a little bit rough shape, but really, and it's like they have the packaging on the back. I don't know if rough shape's the right word when, they're 50, 60, 70 years old. So then there's these ones as well. And these ones, which I think are my favorite because they look like, well, I was going to say they look vintage. They look like they've been coffee dyed. They are vintage. I'm going to see if I can find a date on them. Nope, Toronto, Winnipeg, and Vancouver. So I can probably look it up and find out if I really wanted to, which is very possible I will because I like doing things like that. But there's these ones. And then there are, oops, I have them kind of everywhere. I separated them out and then I dumped my pile that I showed you on top of them. There are these ones as well. So the one, come on, focus, you stupid thing. There we go. So the ones that I have like tons of, I will be selling some of these as well. If anybody is interested. Then there is, oh, these ones, I think are the same as the ones I showed you. There are a couple that I just have, one or two of, and obviously those are not going to be ones I sell because that wouldn't make very much sense. So those ones I have a couple of, and these all obviously came together in a tin, and I don't know if they were a good price, but I paid the price because good price or not, it's not like I can go find them somewhere else. And once again, I will scan sheets of these and then use them in my collage. I will use some of the real ones because I have so many, but I do plan to make full sheets of them and then scan those, and then I can, rip them up without feeling like I've spent a pile of money on my collage work. So I'm going to come back because this video is quite long and I don't want to keep it going. So be back in a few minutes.